Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Charlston White speaks on his telling when he was 14 years old, and he's breaking it down to justify why it was okay for him to tell at 14 years old. Now, I'm going to speak from a street scholar's perspective and break down why it's not okay to tell at 14 if you decide to go on the streets and break the law. Do we understand that? Please sit and watch this whole video so you ain't got to watch 1,000 crazy YouTube videos with them telling you a bunch of crap. All right? I'm giving it to you like it is. Let's get this party started. All right? You know what it is, Unique Mecca audio, man. I'm back. This is what it is. Charlston White was up here. He spoke on some things about why you should tell or why it's permissible to tell at the age of 14 and, 15, 16, all the way up to 18 or something like that. But we're going to sit back and we're just going to enjoy the ride. All right? Oh, make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel at Unique Mecca Audio. All right?
So that was my whole... That's why me and Gilly got into it. Because he called Pop Hunter a snitch when he was like 14 years old, who witnessed and testified against a murder. And it ruined that kid's whole rap career. So that's how me and Gilly got into it.
So Pop Warner, if I'm not mistaken, was a young kid. I think something happened with a murder and his mother made him go down there and tell. I don't know the situation, if Pop Warner was on the street or, breaking the law or running with the bad group of kids. If he was, then he ain't had no business going down there telling. All right, so that's what I'm going to say about that. If he was out there breaking the law, being a juvenile delinquent, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to label it, because it's all a bunch of crap. If you break the law and you decide to go on the street, it don't matter how old you are, your ass deserves to be punished under the law. Let's keep it moving. All right?
And then in what world is somebody okay? Again, and I spoke about this publicly, not on a platform. In what world would a parent be okay when their child comes home or their child's in jail and they give them a phone call and say, I committed a robbery, my boy murdered somebody. In what world would the parent be okay? Well, you know what? You're gonna stand tough and you're gonna take the charge for him.
All right, pause. Let me say this, right? This is the Danza project, that I'm doing. I forgot to mention that earlier. But anyway, as we go, and he just asked a question, right? And Mr. Danza project, Mr. Charlston White, I'm not here to disrespect y'all. I'm just here to lay down what the law is. In the world that it's okay for a child to call home and say that a murder was occurred and he's a part of it, but his friend was the shooter, and the parents said, tell, and everything is going to be all right because you didn't have nothing to do with it, that's the civilian world. That's where you raise your children. But when you on the street, I'm keeping it 100. If you don't want it raw, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to tap out and go to another channel. All right? Take that with you on the way out. Now, let me finish this up. If he sits there and a child decides to go on the street and he breaking the law and his comrade commits a murder while they put together a plan and the plan folded and went south, as they call it, that child is just as responsible to hold his young child comrade down the same way he would expect his young comrade 14 to hold him down. These is unwritten codes and rules, man. This is just what's told from you walk out the door, you know it. If you're in the street and you're out there running, You know, if you break the lamp and you tell her that your brother did it, your mother gonna tell you don't be a tattletale. You know what I mean? She might even beat you, cause that's what my mother did. If I told that my brother broke the lamp, my mother gonna beat my ass. I mean, what am I getting a beating for? Cause you told on your brother. Never tell on your brother. That's what was taught to me from my household. I'm just telling it like it is, you know. And then I know households where I've been over kids' house when I was in grade school. You know, I had a little Jewish kid. That's right. I had a little Jewish kid that was a good friend of mine. His name was Mark Birnbaum. I'm even going to tell you his name because he said he don't mind me mentioning it because I mentioned him a couple of times. But he's a little Jewish kid that I used to go to his house after school, went over there to school in Jersey, Lowell Elementary School. And after school, I walked down to his house. And when I go in his house, his mother's in there. She's baking cookies. And the uncle is coming over. He's a doctor. And the kid takes me in the room and he got these little bugs. I'm talking about this is back in like 76. You know what I mean? 75, 76. He got these little bugs that you could put in the room and you could hear what's being said. All this is what's happening right now. But this is in 1975. This kid had all these little things with the big stereo that came in a big wooden box, and we listening to what his brother's doing in the other room when we over there. That was David Birnbaum. You know what I mean? Good kids. You know what I mean? But Mark was a little eccentric, you know, but we're not going to get into that. But anyway, so I saw how the family structure looked at, and I enjoyed that. And then I had to cross the railroad tracks back to my side, you know, where we go over there and your man's mom is, you know, calling him inside while you're all outside, and she telling him it's time to eat, you know, and he go inside and eat and come out with his mouth all greasy, and you sitting out there with nothing to eat because his mama didn't want to break bread. But then I've been to the mama's house where, you know, both of y'all come in here and eat, you know, but this the side of the tracks we on, meaning it's hard for both of them, but one had a heart with the hardness, and that's the one that God blesses. But that's the household that I was raised in, Mr. Danza, from Danza Project. Check him out. We'll watch this full interview. But, you know, where my mother told me, you don't never tell on your brother. And if your brother fighting, you know what I mean, you fight with him. And if you get something, you break that bread with him. Because I'm going to take you on another ride. But I'm going to hold up on that ride and I'm going to get back to Charlston White.
This ain't no robbery, nigga. This a misdemeanor theft. We doing what most criminal mischief children was doing at the time, homie.
Were you a troublemaker at that time? Were you like a troubled kid around those times?
No, I was starting to become one. So I probably had maybe 9 months of starting to, you know, become juvenile delinquent. Yeah. I was just starting to rebel. You know what I'm saying? My mom was pregnant with my little sister at the time. So yeah, I was just starting to rebel. Doing criminal mischief shit. Most people say, well, man, y'all was committing criminal acts.
Yes. If you go out there and commit a criminal act that you know is a criminal act, then you can't say you didn't know it was a criminal act because you was ducking the police when you tried to commit that act that you're saying that you didn't know was criminal. So let's stop the crap. When we kids 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I don't care how young you want to go. If you go out there, you know these kids is breaking the law. Yeah, you don't really understand what's going on. We understand that because your mind is not fully developed yet. But when you enter into that world the same way your mind is not fully developed yet and you have sympathy towards that, is the same way if someone roll up in a house to take the drugs or to get revenge on someone from this world that I'm trying to prevent you from going down while I'm telling you this story. This is not to tell you these stories to brag about. But if somebody roll up in there because they're going to wet somebody up that robbed them and there's an 8, 9, 10-year-old kid in there, they're going to get bodied too. And that's all a part of these mean streets. It's the real. And then when you're going to say, oh, he killed an 8-year-old child. Yes, in a civilized world. But in that world, the daddy shouldn't have effed up, then the baby would have been alive. And I know this is hard for you to hear in such a raw term, but I'm just putting it like it is. In a civilized world, oh my God, they killed everybody from a 5-year-old baby up. I'm talking about this in the 70s. I'm talking about how I grew up, and in the 80s. You understand what I'm saying? In the early 90s, I got locked up in 93, so it was like that when I got locked up in 93. But when I come home in 2020, it's a whole new world where we got what they call a YouTube, where anyone could put up a TV channel like Unique Mecca Audio and Juanita Mecca Audio, my daughter's channel, now, and say what they want to say. So they come up here and they say things to make people see things in a manner they want them to see them in order to lead them down the path they want to lead them down for the character and the image that they're trying to project for themselves. And I'm just using that as a general statement. So don't go applying that to Charleston White, because Charleston White is up there. You know what I mean? I'm just using that statement as a general statement, because I want y'all to stay focused on where we at, because I don't want you to get sidetracked in the YouTube world and try and create something that's not there when I'm just using this video as a tutorial. Because what Charleston is saying is 100% right for a civilian kid. But if that civilian kid decide to cross the line and go over those train tracks onto the black ghetto minority side, now the same rules that apply to those minority kids apply to that suburban kid from the other side of the tracks. It don't now become juvenile delinquent acts because it's a suburban civilian child involved. But when you see it on the news and it's just a minority child from the ghetto where it's prevalent and permissible to some degree, and I say permissible to some degree because for people to even believe this crap that it's permissible to kill a 5 or 8-year-old child is crazy. From where I'm sitting now at 60, when I was in 25, it was like, man, such and such got killed. They killed a 5-year-old daughter with him too. You got, all right. And it's just like another statement. That's how it rolled off my head. But now that I found myself matured and have a heart with a little light in it, enough heart, enough light to know that that's wrong. That's what we dealing with over here at Unique Mecca Audio. I just want you to understand that I know that a lot of y'all watching this is on some, the OG speaking facts, because you know I'm speaking facts. And then you got some over there that's watching it that's not from our side, that haven't been on that side, that's saying, man, he crazy, he heartless, he don't make no sense. You know what I mean? No, it's not supposed to make sense to you. Because that's the irrational side that a mind could conceive to make it okay to take the life of a child. Let me get back to this, man. I'm getting a little too emotional here.
Under the law and under moral statutes, children don't commit crimes. Children commit delinquent acts.
See, that's what you call mollifying, right? Because we ride. So remember this word. I'm going to keep using this word with you because, this is my platform. Mollifying. Mollifying is when you try and make a wrong right. You know it's wrong, but you're trying to make it right. That's like you having a conversation with somebody, and every time you say something, you say, yo, you know what you did was wrong, da-da-da, and they said, yeah, I know, but... but what? Either it was wrong or it wasn't. There is no gray line. The but is the gray line. Do you feel what you did was wrong? Yeah, it was wrong, but what? No, I just want to say, no, I don't want to hear it. Because now I know that apology is not sincere because you have a but behind it. We don't need the ass behind it. Keep your ass to yourself, and either you feel you was wrong or you was right. When somebody tell you I was right, but, or you was wrong, but, when they add but behind it, but is a mean to say that, There's still a reasonable doubt. And that's what I mean when I talk about like the big meat thing. You know, I still think there's a reasonable doubt there that Tammy might be just doing this, you know, to meet with 50 Cent because, you know, she's a woman scorned, like R. Kelly said. You know, and I wanted to throw R. Kelly's name in that so we could understand what I'm saying because they're all criminals. And when you're in the hood, you got all kinds of people. You're going to have dudes that want to have sex with 15-year-old girls, and you know it's wrong. You know? And that's where the man of that household, how I was raised. I'm just saying I was raised. I understand y'all deal with the law now and all this, but I'm just saying I was raised where we was the law. If somebody talking to my man's 16-year-old sister that's 30 years old, and we find out, and my man want to go roll on that 30-something-year-old for schooling his 16-year-old sister, yeah, call me wrong. I'm rolling with my man, because that's my man, and I know it's wrong. But now, if my man allow it and she allow it, who am I to say something? I can still have my moral view on it. Where I look at my man like, man, yo, you got this sister talking, yo, man, that's some pervert shit. You know, she's only 16. You say, nah, that's all right, you know? And the mother agreed with it. And this is what happened in the hood. But now it becomes the law where that's illegal when the mother agreed with it, the father agreed with it, everybody. Because if you didn't agree with it, we didn't go to the police and say they committed a Me Too act. We went and whooped that. And that's it. But now it turned into something else. And I know y'all understand what I'm saying. I know I'm giving y'all great content because, you know, I'm feeling good right now while I'm up here blessing you with this, right? Because it's like I really feel like I'm helping y'all to get a better understanding of what's going on in the world. But bottom line is when you're on the street, you don't tell. That's why you don't go on the street. So you don't have to worry about not telling. If you see something you want to tell by all means, tell because you're not a part of that. You ain't make no agreement to the streets to say if I see somebody kill somebody, rape them, might do whatever that I'm not going to tell. So they can't call you a snitch if you're not in that world. If you're walking outside and you see a crime, by all means, that's your duty as a civilian to tell and let the police know whatever to capture the culprit. But if you're involved in down the street and you breaking the law too, and you see a crime committed, no, you mind your mother effing business and keep moving. Can't give it to them more real than that. So all that trying to talk about that was a juvenile delinquent. Nah, you stepped on the street, you became a criminal. You became a product of the street that must play by the rules of the street. And for all you rat bastards and flip-flop wearing public trolls, I'm gonna give you 3 more seconds to tap out because this is not for you. Alright. You already know the routine. You know the routine. Now, let's get back to this, right?
Juvenile delinquents. So we're being delinquent, homie. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're committing crimes, we don't have the brain capacity to really be criminals. Or
You got the brain capacity to comprehend that when you go out there and you doing something that you know if you get caught doing, you're gonna get in trouble, whether it's by your mother or it's by the law, then you have the brain capacity to comprehend that you're not supposed to do it. And whatever consequences or actions to that reaction comes, that's what it is. Let's keep it moving.
to be criminal minded at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Modifying.
It's just
remember that
impulsive.
word.
You know what I'm saying?
Modifying.
And then you gotta think, I'm first generation of children in America to begin to commit crimes such as murder and to be incarcerated for crimes such as murder. In the 80s, this was no thing in America. It wasn't until the 90s. So outside of places like California, Chicago, Philly, New York, Baltimore, DC, places where crack was hit real big in the beginning, children wasn't committing crimes. So
Hold up, children weren't committing crimes. What city was you living in that children weren't committing crimes? No disrespect, but I'm just saying, every city I put my feet in to hustling, children was out on the street committing crimes. It ain't a whole lot. Let's get that. It's nowhere near a whole lot. But you definitely had one or two or three, like I was one. Look at Shorty Pop in D.C. Y'all follow D.C. history. Shorty Pop, 14, 15, 13, playing the bongos, good kid. But decided to step on the street. And he lived by those codes that he stood by because he knew what he was doing when he chose to go on the street. That's Shorty Pop. That's unique. That's why when they locked me up, I had no doubt in my mind I had to fight this on my own. That my comrades was out there and I'm in here. I'm happy that they only have me and not me and my comrades. So it's my duty to keep my comrades on the street and know they don't owe me nothing for doing that. That's just in my heart as the morals, principles of what I would want them to do for me. Now I must do for them. I wouldn't want them to tell on me and bring me in because they got caught. So now that I'm the one that get caught, it's a no-brainer that I can't do that. Run, Bobby, run. You know, that's where I'm at. And it's no, I'm a juvenile and the reason, no, I knew what I was walking into. I decided to want to be a future gangster. But I tripped. And I don't say because it's a murder I gotta tell. Oh, I can't do life? But if it's for a burglary, it's only 5 years, I'm not gonna tell. You don't pick and choose. That's why I say don't get involved in the street. Don't go out there. It's not worth it. Can't give it to you no more raw than that.
I got locked up September 18, 1991. So I fell in a group of children in Texas. So we're the first group of children in Texas who began to be charged and sentenced for crimes such as capital murder and murder. During this time, we're also the first children in America in the early 90s. That's where the term super predators come from. So that's when Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton made a bold statement to America and said that there's a wave of children who have been born into this country and these children are super predators. So we're those children that was termed super predators. And what they meant by that, they said that these group of children was gonna be bigger, faster, stronger, that they was gonna be heartless, and incorrigible. And the word incorrigible means that they wouldn't be able to change. So that's when America began making laws geared toward children, youth. But before then, that was unheard of, homie. So for more come along and say,
now that he said is 100% facts. So that's why nobody twist this around that I'm saying nothing against Charlston White. Charlston White is talking from a straight civilian point of view and is pissing y'all off that's really civilian, acting or perpetrating that you're from the street. And then you watch this and then you hear Charlston White speak exactly how you feel deep down inside. But you have this persona up on the top that you're trying to act like you're gonna roll like this. But then when they put the cuffs on you, then you see who you are. I've seen thousands of different people that had those cuffs on them. Probably 1 million that had those cuffs on them over my 26 years in federal prison. And I know y'all don't want to go through what we went through. I know you don't want to go through that. I wouldn't wish that on my enemy. Look at me, man. I'm going to get close to the camera, right? I'm not even mad at the man that told on me. I'm not mad at the females that told on me. I'm not mad at anybody that ratted on me. I just want to move on with my life. I got caught. I fought, and this was it. These are my rules, morals, and principles. Their rules, morals, and principles was different than mine. Who judges us other than God? Other than Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, Jah, whatever you want to call it. So I can't judge them for not following my morals and principles. So that's why when you go out, you only find like-minded people like yourselves, whether it's civilians or the ones that stand on a street, morals and principles that you all know. But when you get caught now, you don't know. Like, where we really going with this? You know, let's stop the games, man. Hold on. Let's get back to this. I'm getting to get too deep right now.
Kids didn't know street codes back in my day. Nigga, kids, it was unheard of for a kid in 1991 to have a street code to stand on, like no snitching.
No. Like I said, I just mentioned Shorty Pop. That's just one. And every city had at least one young dude that was out there with the elders, and he followed the rules and principles and morals of the street. No, it wasn't no lot, it wasn't no 5, it wasn't no 10. It might have been 2, 3, 4, or 5 little group of young dudes that was out there that you knew was just those badass kids. And you tried to run with those badass kids. And when the fire got on your ass, then you wanted to jump back on the other side of the tracks and say, my mama raised me this way. Well, you should have listened to your mama from the door. And that's what I'm telling you youngins. Listen to your elders from the door. Charleston didn't. He jumped on the other side, got burnt, then tried to jump back over there and say, I'm going to heal up over here, forget all that I tried out over there. That's all he did. He tried out being a part of the street. Then when that joint cost him till, he was 21 years old, he said, whoa, let me go back to being what my mama taught me. So he comes on the YouTube, he talks about what his mama taught him, and he says it as nasty as he could say it, but as real as he could say it. Just like I'm speaking from the street part of what Charleston is talking about in the civilian part. So it's two different pictures up here, two different sides, and I'm just explaining what this side is. But right now, I'm telling you that everything Charleston is saying is 100% right. If you're a civilian, you're going to school, you're paying your taxes. I know plenty of people, I walk down the street, I know they're not a part of me. I watched this just to prove this point, right? Check it out. I'm in New York City every day. And everything I see with Lisa Evers on the Fox 5 News is black or Latinos on blacks and Latinos, and New York has been gentrified. If it's gentrified, why it's only blacks and Latinos that's out there getting shot and murdered? That means the blacks and the Latinos need to wake up. It's not the government. So don't blame it on the government. Don't blame it on the state. We have to wake up our own babies. We're the first teachers of our babies. Am I saying anything wrong? Put it in the comments. We have black and brown kids shooting and killing each other, and black and brown parents going to funerals together. I remember when we only went to parties together, like Club 2000. That's what I know New York as, where all the parents party together. I come home in 2020 and now all the parents grieve together. Where did this begin? In whatever state? Somebody put it in the comments. I got 26 years gone. I don't know how people got here. So somebody explain to me how people got here. I don't care how long the comment is. Let me know. And as a matter of fact, you got my phone number up on the screen. You know, if you want to come up here and tell me in front of my audience, you know, how we got here. So anybody want to get on the show, just text me in the first few words in the text. Just put in, want to be on the show. That's it. They put want to be on the show. And I'll bring you up here and you could explain this to me because I am baffled. I can't say it no different than that. I am truly baffled right now. All right, let's play a little more of this.
That was unheard of.
Right. He's just a kid.
Man, a 16-year-old is still a kid. 16-year-olds are still stupid, immature. Yeah, homie, them still kids.
And they still chose to get on the street when they know that it's wrong, and what they're doing, they're ducking the law. So if you ducking the law, you know you breaking the law. So if a 16-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid, 12-year-old kid go out there on the street and he's doing something and he's hiding from the police, and then when he get caught, then he wants to tell and say, I'm a kid, my mind wasn't developed. Your mind was developed enough to know you were breaking the law to try and duck the police while you got caught. So stop the crap. So y'all 12 years old, out to 14, 15, 16, all these ages in Charleston over here hitting the violin about, I'm letting you know now, if you go out there, you're responsible to follow the same rules out there. And don't act like you don't know the rules. The rules are embedded within you. The rules is embedded in you, right? Whereas the rules are whatever you wouldn't want your brother to do to you, you wouldn't do to your brother. You understand what I'm saying? Let's keep this moving because we on the ride.
16-year-old is no different than a 14-year-old.
Right. That's why there's a lot.
An 18-year-old is no different than a 16-year-old. That's why 18-year-olds should be in prison.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not.
Yeah, 18, that's no different. But this group today, they have a criminal culture. In the 90s, Black America didn't have a criminal culture for children who committed murder or committed crimes that nobody told on each other.
Yes, they did. We know, right? Listen, we know. Let's get it right. Let me say this right, because Charleston is right to an extent what he's saying. You had kids that if they was from the street, you had kids that if they was from the street and their parents was from the street, the parents will push the child to make the decisions that them as the parent would make because they understand that their child got caught. So the same rules apply to their child that applies to them. But then you got parents like Charleston is talking about that they in the house doing the right thing. They don't know what their kid is doing out there. So now their kid get in trouble out there, but they raised by the parent in here, so they have these morals and principles as far as to tell if your brother break the lamp or whatever, simple. But he goes out there with the other half, and when he goes with the other half commit the most serious act to mankind, which is to unalive someone. So now that parent from the civilian point is going to tell the child, by all means, you better tell him everything and let him know how he pulled the trigger. You know, and you even tell him why you think your friend pulled the trigger. But you do what you got to do to bring your black ass out home to me. You don't owe them home. Who's on the street, no street code, no nothing. And the mama, while she's saying that, knows that there's a street code. But she knows she turned her eye to her son and he ran to the street. So she's telling her son, no, I'm bringing you back and I'm going to raise you past that so that you don't have to deal with the consequences that come by getting beat down and labeled a snitch on the street side, because I'm going to move you far away from that. Man, I can't break this down no more better than I gotta give myself a round of applause. I like this video. I gotta give myself a round of applause. I like this video. All right. Relax. Yo, I love this, man. I feel good today. I'm in a good mood. I ain't do nothing for a couple of days. I just want to relax and get my mind right. But, I had to do this video. So sit back. Let's see where we go. All right?
We would sit on each other for talking in class.
Yeah.
We would
It's
get
different
niggas was getting telling on their siblings.
Right.
Listen now.
So now it was taught to be honest, to be truthful, especially if life loss was involved.
No. Or as we say on the street, being that this is a gangster channel. Non-cipher, G. Non-cipher. Under no circumstances, if you're on the street or you to tell. I've seen and witnessed a bunch of people witness sisters killing sisters, and not one of them people thought about going up there to go tell about the sister that got caught, because that was family business. That's how we thought back then. We dealt with our own business, man. We dealt with our own business. And that's all that is. You can't get no real. I'm tapping you back into the 70s and 80s, man. We ain't even hit the 90s yet. I'm giving you the 80s and 90s, me, but I'm letting you know that everything Charlston White is saying, is right from a civilian point of view. He's not saying nothing wrong. So it's up to y'all to choose if you want to roll with Charlston White or you want to roll with the street. Not Unique Mecca audio, because I see it exactly the way Charleston White see it at 60, but at 25, I saw it how you see it. So now I'm giving you a quick 25 years crammed in one to decide if you want to be like me, spending 26 and a half years in federal prison, or you want to be like Charleston White and stay out here and stay in your lane. Charleston haven't wavered from that lane. If he see it, he telling it. Charleston even had a video where he got a badge and he was so proud. And what Charleston say? And they gave me a uniform. He stays in his lane, man. You got to respect that. That's what, and then he's entertaining. I'm entertaining. That's what entertainment is about. It's not for you to get in your feelings and put your personal feelings in, because if you're putting your personal feelings in 9 times out of 10, you're putting it where it don't belong. Because feelings is supposed to always be controlled. If somebody could get you in your feelings, then now you're going someplace you don't belong. If somebody pissed you off that bad, that means that you don't want to go there. So you pivot from it. Or them. Let's keep this moving, man. All right.
So, no, that motherfucker is talking from the sidelines.
There you go.
But this is the hypocrisy. It's no different than Woody taking a stand.
There you go. Talk about it.
As a grown man.
Huh.
And killed black people.
Talk about
It's no difference.
it.
But there's people that shame Woody too.
No, the culture didn't shame Woody. No, the culture didn't shame Woody.
Because
they
the culture
sympathize
is
with
Woody.
him.
Yeah, because they is Woody.
They didn't shame him.
The
They
culture
sympathize
is
with
Woody.
Now, what do you got to say to the people that say, you've been online talking about there's no paperwork on me?
It ain't. It still ain't no paperwork. They showed y'all the video.
Listen to this crap here.
I
Charleston,
haven't been a criminal as an adult to have paperwork on.
Stop it, man. We saw your ass on stand testifying against you, man. I think you even said, yeah, he meant to kill him, or I heard the shot, or I popped him. You said something that you ain't even had no business saying. So, like I said, it was entertaining. I loved it. You pivot from it, like you said on the beginning of this, the Danza Project. You made so much. You made over $100,000 from, more from it. So it didn't even harm you. And you're on man time right now, today, in 2025, that the only thing that matters is getting the bag. And that publicity that they thought was going to bring you down got you the bag where you earned over $100,000. That's where we at, so y'all understand. Let's pay attention so y'all really know where I'm at with this video, man, because y'all need to wake up. and understand that what Charleston is telling you, I'm telling you is right. Go your ass over there. Work towards getting you on Charleston's side, man. Where you go to work, get your education, get your trade, go home with your child at night. I went back to my cell every night for 26 years hugging a pillow, man. A pillow was my girl, and when they put me in a hole and I didn't have a pillow, it was freezing in the cell, but I used my blanket to hold me just to feel like I was holding something beyond just touching myself. And if this is what you want for yourself, be that little angel to go get it. But I'm telling you, you don't want it. So don't tell me you didn't hear this over here. Unique Mecca audio, so you need to share this video. You need to share this video. You can't get no more real than this. And I'm just in the zone right now. That's why I'm even giving you it this long. I've been on 40 minutes. And the tape that I'm looking at is an hour and 49 minutes. So I could ride the whole timer in now. And this is a good enough video to get my monetization, but it's not about the monetization and the money. It's about waking up my people. Let's get back to Charleston.
On me.
Right. Shout out to Andy.
Man, I haven't. I got out the boys' home in 1997 at the age of 21 years old, like 6 months before my 21st birthday in 1997. My juvenile record was sealed, so there's no paperwork. So when I got out as an adult, I didn't go to the streets. I wanted to go enroll in college.
So you're saying that you have no paperwork as an adult, but you're trying to make that there's no paperwork. No, you still have your juvenile paperwork that you ratted as a juvenile, Charleston. That's the way it is. You ratted as a juvenile, just wear that and move forward. But now as an adult, this is where you at. That's how I see Charleston. That don't make it right. That's how Unique Mecca audio see it. Just wear it, big bro. I told when I was 14, end of that. Don't need to spin it. The kids know if you got to duck the police, you know it's wrong, so you shouldn't be doing it. Can't say no more plainer than that. Don't need to harp on it. Just keep it moving.
So I wasn't living a criminal life in my 20s and in my 30s to have paperwork of telling on somebody.
We ain't talking about just having paperwork in your 20s and 30s and telling someone. We talking about in what we call your jacket. Jacket, your jacket. And that's what we wear with honor on the streets. And that's what I'm bringing on YouTube, on the YouTube streets. That honor with that jacket. Let's keep it moving. Let's go, Charleston.
What was the conversation like with your mother? You said she's pregnant at that time.
Just had my little sister. Yeah. She had just.
What was the conversation? You had to call her and tell her you're locked up.
It was on the news, so she had already knew. Yeah. It was headline news. So she had already knew. So yeah, when we got to the police station and called her,
Was she pissed? Was she nervous?
I ain't. When somebody die, it's hard for your mother and father to be angry. Because this is the worst situation you can be in as a human.
He said, right
to have taken to you either have to been killed. So this is an extreme shit. So this is where they cry, because now you done fell into this is every black parent's fear, that you done fell into the hands of the white man system now, and there's nothing I can do as a parent. All the other times I can come save you.
Yeah, you can't come down to the court like you can go down to the school.
All the other times I can come pick you up from the police station. Son, I've been telling you, I've been warning you about this, about hanging with these kind of people. You
there
know,
you go.
My mama didn't know none of them I got in trouble with. Them wasn't my friends. Them wasn't my friends from school. Them wasn't my friends. Them just I was hanging with that day.
Mm-hmm. See?
So
He keep it real.
my mama, my mama hurt. Just not just her voice, but the pain in her face. Cause you talking about capital murder. We been charged with capital murder, and we some black kid that done killed the white man in 1991, not too far from the 80s.
Word.
Yeah, they you know, this is terrifying for a black parent.
Yeah. And your mother and father were around at the time?
Yeah, my daddy was, but he was in Fort Worth. We lived in Arlington. So yeah, my daddy was fucked up too. Everybody was. But
Did they know right off the jump that you weren't the one that pulled the trigger?
Yeah.
Did everybody know?
Yeah.
Because I imagine when you got picked up.
Well, because we didn't get picked up right away.
Okay.
So we got to go back, and talk about it and tell people what happened. So yeah, everybody knew. I mean, this was. So you got to think, I'm one of the first children in Fort Worth, Texas, to be tried and adjudicated for the crime of murder. So it was me, Jose Rodriguez. It was 3 skinheads, Josh Henry and them. 3 skinheads that had killed this black dude. Mario Lopez, Anthony Lightfoot, who else?
Anthony Lightfoot, is that the Doolittle?
Nah, that's my co-defendant, but he in the group with us. So it's about 10 or 12 of us at that time that had committed a murder during the end of '91. And before then, children had never committed murder in our city before.
That's just your city. That was happening in multiple cities. So you add all those kids up and you get a nice number of what you call juvenile delinquents. And what do society deal with them? Y'all put it in the comments. If you want me to do the rest of this video, I'll take it on from here. But I've been up here going on 50 minutes. Let's ride out. Subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel at Juanita Mecca Audio, spelled Juanita. I gave her that name, Mecca Audio, and Mecca Audio TV, and Unique Mecca Audio Prison Story. All right.
Cheers, toast the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours, so we can give back to the.
Cheers, toast the crime.